All right, so this is All Wrestling Madness, and we're here with our host
Thank you for having
James
me.
Balash.
Thank
All
you.
right, of course. All right, so I wanted to know. I know you got this new
Yeah,
managing
I
gig
do.
going. Who exactly? Who
Well,
is
you
Barry
see,
Wolf?
Barry
Can you tell
Wolf
us?
is basically, in a nutshell, like Eric Bischoff, who is a former WWE Raw GM. And basically, he's a cocky son of a bitch who thinks he can run the place and can get away with things. So at the end of the day, it's like Eric Bischoff from WWE.
As far as Barry Wolf, I know he's. I would say you're very talented. You have a lot of experience as far as wrestling, refereeing, and now you're getting into management. How do you feel about all
Well,
three?
I've had 6 years of experience as a referee. I've had only a one match off as a wrestler, and that was when I did the Joker's Wild Battle Royal for the NYWC. That's New York Wrestling Connection. I was nervous as hell for that, but I enjoyed it. Now, as you can tell, I'm a talker. I love to talk and ramble. So, I've always wanted to be a manager at heart, truthfully, but referee was more of the safer bet to go. So, I just always wanted to be a manager, and that's where Barry Wolf comes in. He's a manager that I can be. So, at the end of the day, truthfully, to answer your question, in a nutshell, I've always wanted to be a manager. Always.
Now, do you want a wrestler that also highlights this on you? Do you want?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, the one guy I'm looking into, I really don't want to name just yet, just in case I don't get him as a client. But there is someone that I am truthfully looking into heavily. That if I had the choice, I'd choose him right off the bat as someone that I would manage. So at the end of the day, I do have my eye on someone. I'm just not going to reveal who that is right yet.
Now, um, so how many years exactly have you been in wrestling?
I've been doing it for 6 years as a
S- 6.5, and you've been with five labels, I
yeah,
should
about
call
four
them.
or five. Let's see: Ringside Pro Wrestling, East Coast Pro Wrestling, New York Wrestling Connection, Suffolk Wrestling Alliance, and Victory Pro right now. So yeah, five. I've been with five of them right now. So yeah.
That's good. I managed to watch you recently, about a month ago. Very good show. You put on a great show while we were there.
Yeah, it was Victory Pro Wrestling's last show, not the Never Forget September show, the one before that.
How did you feel? You actually, I saw you got a few spots throughout
Yeah,
the
I
day.
had
That was
Karen
good.
Bam Bam's women's title match. I forgot who she was facing, but it was a decent match. I mean, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. It was still decent. Um, but yeah, and then I also had another spot in the middle of the show, and at the end of the show, I had a big spot that I had to make look somewhat like $1 million for the wrestler at hand, and I think I did pretty well. I enjoyed it tremendously. Uh, it really, really was fun doing it. I mean, getting kicked in the face by Stockade or Cade Lothbrock now, it was fun. I mean, I didn't really get kicked in the face, but for the sake of the show, I did, and it was fun. I always enjoy spots like that. Always do. Like getting involved.
That's true. Got to hang the belt up eventually, but for now, as long as you're loving it, no
Exactly.
need.
Exactly.
You got to keep at it and
Yeah.
just keep going. All right. So, favorite wrestler growing up
Favorite
as a
wrestler
kid?
growing up as a kid was Chris Jericho, and it's because of his attitude. Whether it was the Y2J or the Code Breaker or
Okay, okay,
or
so good. I thought it was
no,
John Cena.
Chris Jericho. Chris,
No, Chris Jericho.
yeah, Chris Jericho, and he has always been my favorite. I always liked the Y2J era of his career, not the 1999 entrance into the WWF. No, The 2003 2004 Chris Jericho. I always loved that era of Jericho. He was fun to watch. He always knew how to break the rules but make it look entertaining. He just knows what he's doing. But now he's getting a little bit older, so I see him more as like enhancement talent. But Chris Jericho is my favorite star by far. So yeah, Jericho is my answer. Chris Jericho.
Now, this is your favorite
Yes, yes
wrestler,
it is.
but who do you believe puts on the best show as far as pro wrestling goes? Not I shouldn't say show, but who pulls off the shots? Who, you know
Yeah,
what
I
I
do.
mean.
That would be if I had to choose.
I'm talking about wrestling in general. Who do you think is the best as far as pulling off, like, oh, he just got hit by a nice hook, a nice jab, you know,
That would have to be CM Punk. Phil Brooks, CM Punk. Yeah,
CM
CM
Punk?
Punk. And that's because he always knows how to make the match entertaining. So, in the end, Chris Jericho is my favorite, but CM Punk is like a close second. He's the one that makes every match entertaining and worthwhile. Even to this day, when he finally came back to AEW, All Elite Wrestling, CM Punk is the be all and all of a wrestler of modern times. He's the current day The Rock or current day Stone Cold Steve Austin. He knows how to get the crowd going. So, CM Punk is going to answer my question for that one.
I got another good question for you. Favorite tag team
Favorite
of all
tag team of
time?
all time? That would be D Generation X. All honesty, yeah, DX. They have been my favorite tag team of all time. It's either them or the Hardy Boys, but D Generation X. Triple H, Shawn Michaels. Uh, they know what they're doing. They know how to pull from the audience.
That's
So
true.
yeah.
Favorite WrestleMania?
Okay, WrestleMania. I think this
I
one
know
was
this one.
WrestleMania
WrestleMania
20.
was it
Nope,
WrestleMania
WrestleMania
21?
20. Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship. It was one hell of a match, and it went down in history as the best match of any WrestleMania from that point on. In my opinion, it beats out Hogan versus Andre.
Here's a good one too. Favorite high flyer. I like this one. This one, I like
Ooh,
my
you
high
had a
flyers.
lot. You had
Um,
Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, John Morrison. Who else? I guess you can kind of say Macho Man Randy Savage, but not really. He's more of a musclehead. But yeah, if I had to choose my favorite high flyer, it would have to be Rey Mysterio. By far. By far, Rey Mysterio. He's always been my favorite high flyer. He knows how to put on a match, especially at WrestleMania 22 when he faced off in a triple threat.
I agree. What's like a good versus match that you recommend as far
What
as
I would
these high
recommend
flyers
is
go?
WrestleMania 22, Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton versus Kurt Angle for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Rey Mysterio ended up winning, and it's one hell of a match.
Nice, nice.
I recommend it tremendously. So if you have Peacock, WWE Network, go ahead and watch.
Okay, so why? What made you want to switch from referee to manager? I know we haven't talked about this quite yet.
Well, what it is that I like to talk, as you can tell in this interview right here. I love to talk. I have the gift of gab, and I've always wanted to be heard over a microphone. That's why I've also been a ring announcer at times, but I like to talk. So to be a manager, you sort of get that opportunity at certain shows, certain opportunities to just talk for your star, to talk for your client, and make them look bigger than they already are. Whether they're the biggest star in the company, you can make them look even bigger, or they're the smallest star in the company, you can make them look like giants. Not physically, but just by what you can say about them. So I like to be a manager. It's all about acting, and I just love it. It's who I am. I love to be an actor. So it puts two and two together. Whereas a referee, you stand off in the background. You're not really there unless you screw up. So managers are right there in the spotlight with the wrestlers. So, yeah, I want to be a manager more than anything. and that's why. It's because I love to talk. I love it.
See, I don't mind the promos. I like when someone comes up and talks a
Yeah,
little bit, makes it a little bit
exactly,
interesting.
exactly. And that's why I also like it because I can do promos. I love doing vignettes. And if I had a client like the one that I'm thinking of, again, you're not going to know unless it gets told to me. But if I had a client that I'm thinking of, I would love to do a promo with him, and I would love to do one in the style that I'm thinking of. So yeah, I would love to build him up to be Victory Pro Wrestling's world champion one day because I think he does have potential.
Hopefully, we can have Barry Wolf do a appearance, and we'll see it. We'll see more of Barry Wolf in the
Yeah,
future.
whether it's Suffolk Wrestling Alliance or Victory Pro Wrestling or any other company out there, hopefully Barry Wolf will one day get seen by the masses. So, yeah. And if you want Barry Wolf, go to bookrefjamesbalish at gmail.com. That's bookrefjamesbalish at gmail.com for Barry Wolf or even me as a referee. I'm open for any and all at that point, refereeing or managing. But yeah, hopefully Barry Wolf gets seen very, very soon. Hopefully he does. I'm open for it. I'm nervous, but I want it to be done and over with already. So, Victory Pro or Suffolk Wrestling Alliance or any other wrestling promotion out there, if you want Barry Wolf, you know where to find me.
Next up, so I know you mentioned Eric
Ye-
Bischoff, I
yeah,
believe
I did.
earlier
I
in the
did.
video.
Uh,
Now, is this your favorite
yes,
manager,
actually.
or do you have another favorite
Well,
that you prefer
if you're
that you like
thinking
to
of like a
watch?
face manager, a baby face, that would be the mouth of the South, WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart has been my favorite manager of all time because he also has the gift of gab. That's why they call him the mouth of the South. It's because he knows how to talk. And I met him a couple of times in person. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, we'll probably end it right here. Again, do you have anything else to add to the
Yes, there are
conversation?
two shows happening in October. The first one, you better be there. Whether I'm there or not, you better be there. It's October 9th, live from the St. James Sports Arena in St. James, New York, as Victory Pro Wrestling returns. Oh, yeah, AEW's own Platinum Max Caster will be there. And the other show, October 29th, at the NYWC Sportatorium in Deer Park, New York, 435 Brook Avenue in Deer Park, New York, for Suffolk Wrestling Alliance, Bring Back from the Dead. So yeah, be there at both of those shows. Show support to the independents wherever you live and any companies that are around you. Be there, be there, be there. Also, follow me on Instagram at
All right.
Barry Wolf
Thank
Agent.
you again. Now, this is All Wrestling Madness podcast with our host, James
Thank
Balash,
you.
also known as
Soon to
Barry
be
Wolf.
Barry Wolf, Sean. Soon to be.
Very soon. All right, this will be the end of the video. Thank you again for coming. Thank you again for watching.
Thank you.
Please share some love,
Thank you.
like that video, subscribe. Thank
Thank
you
you.
again.